Well, hey there, team. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a bit more Stationeers. We're doing the liftoff update and we're plugging along quite quickly, actually. Got our little sort of setup going on here. A few people made interesting suggestions. Someone said if you were to melt oxide, you potentially will end up with a bit of excess nitrogen? Now, I just assumed that the oxide ice was straight up just pure O2. That's but maybe that assumption was wrong. But we will look into it, but that's not the plan. Someone also pointed out that if I do in fact put a canister of air into a 1x1x2, then it's actually going to come out to a reasonable temperature and pressure in line with what we actually want anyway. So we'll stick with the original plan. And my peers have not told me that I should blow myself up if I heat it with a road flare. But having said that, it sounds like, given the, you know, the actual area that it's going to be taking up and the volume itself, or the moles that are inside that canister, it sounds like it'll actually have a pretty good temperature to get the ball rolling anyway. So I'm not super worried. Anyway, so we were right about to make a canister and basically just get that whole thing going. 9 ingots is perfect. Yep, cool. Ooh, I gotta go out here. There we go. Build canister. Perfect. It's already there. Nice. So, I can't see why this won't work. Let's get the ball rolling. There we go. Takes that little pressure hit. That's interesting that pressure-wise it was in the red, for starters. Oh, well, I guess here's the fucking terrifying part where I seal myself in. I trust you guys! Right? There's no need to be scared when you trust people, right? And we let off a pressurized bloody canister in this room. Okay. Open, here we go. Woohoo! Wind tunnel, baby! And look at that, 16 degrees, 28 kPa, it doesn't get much better than that. Good work, team. We'll just close that up. I'll put the canister in storage here. Now, if we were to pull this out, and I never doubted you for a second, not at all. We have 1% of our total sort of atmosphere is CO2, which honestly is going to be probably good enough for the plants. I think they need hardly anything, to be honest. And 28 degrees. Oh, wait, 14 degrees? Dropping? We'll see. We'll close this up. Set outward. Yeah, so it should be set to outward now. No, so I want it inward. I want it inward. Yeah. Draw it all into vacuum. Nice. Perfect. And now let's get the potatoes going. Now the potatoes are quite hardy. I know them well. That's why I grow only potatoes. Geez, I've only got 5 to get started. It's very scary. But, you know, before long we're going to have hundreds. Well, if this all works, I suppose. Here we go. It's not too high pressure. It's not going to belt me or anything like that, so we should be able to just open that. Cool. Okay, so consider 14 kPa, but that's not warm enough, so set outward. We'll just take a little squirt. Yeah, 11, because remember we had the cool air in there already. Alright, so 20 kPa IVO, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that pressure-wise, because remember we're going to close the door, so that will retain the pressure. Yeah, it should. Yeah, it will halve the area, but it'll also halve the gas amount because it's splitting it in half. That should work. I mean, look, we could just bloody test it here if we do this. Pressure stays the same. God, you know when you have a brain fart and you forget? These things happen, but that's why you got to keep yourself honest sometimes. All right, so here's the delicious part where we turn on the road flare. Now, it was just O2 and CO2, right? Yeah, I got to stop second guessing myself. I put it out there. You guys didn't say there'd be a problem. I trust you. You guys trust me. We just got to be careful. Actually, you know what? We'll plant these potatoes first because the road flare overheats everything in record time. So we're going to put them in. They're going to be dying when I place them in. Potato is wilting because we're under the pressure threshold, right? We're going to put that there. No. What am I doing? Come on. There we go. See, the temperature just starts rocketing up, right? At 16, it should stop wilting. There we go. Look at that. They're happy now, so close it up. And look at that. Before you know it, we're up to 19 degrees. It just doesn't take very much. Set inward. Suck it all in. There we go. And we're golden. We've got an atmosphere in there with enough CO2 to do the job. We've got our spare road flare. Now, these things just don't seem to burn out. So, infinite source of heat, perhaps? We'll leave that there for the time being. And at the moment, we've essentially got 1 unit of cooling. And we'll see. We'll see, because you'll be surprised. Like, we needed to jumpstart that process to get them warm enough to start growing. But now that they are, mixed with the constant sunlight beating down on them, it's actually, the heating becomes significant, where we're going to have a problem. But for those of you that have been with me, you're probably pretty happy to see that happen so quickly and so well. It's a bit of a journey, hey? All these seasons. Okay, cool. So again, as promised, the next sort of step's going to be automating the solar panel. Right now, how do we go with gold? Oh, that's right. We got a shitload of gold. So copper might become our bottleneck. Not that that's a problem. There's copper bloody everywhere around here. I could just see that some then when I looked around. So we're gonna automate this one dish for starters, right? And then we'll scale up and that sort of thing. But the first thing first is getting this dish sorted. I mean, where would we put? Well, let's actually think about it from the ground up again. Are we worried about having a... Well, no, we will have to do the power source to feed in, right? Because we want to have separate systems. That's right. And then we started having things blow up when I put an actual fixed battery into the equation, right? Okay, that's fine. But I still want an isolated power controller that's not necessarily the grid to power this thing. Because otherwise, it will short circuit, right? If we, that's yeah, I know I'm going back to the basics, but if we run the grid back through into the logic system and back into there, it will create a short. Yeah, that's what we did last time. I think. Anyway, we'll double check. It's one of those things, you do it so many times and then you start to doubt yourself. Maybe we put the logic over here. Again, we're going to need a reader, we're going to need a writer, we're going to need a memory unit. And I run the power separately as well. Because I run the power line separately, you know what we might actually be able to do? We might be able to fit all the things on there. Reader, writer, memory, math. But what if we sort of have them facing outwards? Because the power comes out the top of all of them. That's a cool idea. Look at me. Because that's the one thing that I would run into trouble, because I'd probably try and have them all aligned perfectly. Okay, cool. Reader, writer, math, and memory. No, you know what? We'll go with logic, because it's like an I/O or something like that, isn't it? Logic in, out. Right, cool. Give me 2 of those, please. I think we'll just make it with the copper. There's no way they're gonna. Any of them will cost more than 1 copper a piece, right? 1. 2. You also, like, you know, you got to bear with me. Even though I have done this many times, I play a lot of different games. And a lot of them are engineering type games, and they all have their own rules. But it's hard enough knowing, you know, conventional, like, Newtonian rules and perfect gas laws. But then they all have their own bullshit laws as well. Like, we've started on Empyrean, which, that one doesn't actually seem so heavy on the sort of engineering, which is refreshing. Memory, in, out, kit, logic, processor. Is that what it's just called now? It's a logic transmitter. They keep changing everything. Oh my god, it's using 2 copper. I'm pretty sure that we can turn this into a math unit. Well, I have no idea, actually, if we're being perfectly honest. I'm hoping. So we'll print that out and see how it goes. And then we'll get a memory one. Memory. 5 cable. Actually, we're going to need more cable. Alright, just grab that over there, because we're very messy this time, but that's because we're moving so much faster. I'm not really stopping to think and fiddle and be organised. Oh man. Oh yeah, I'll take a bit of extra iron. Geez, this hole goes, doesn't it? Look, we're losing sunlight. We're here already.
Hunger, caution.
You're alright, Shaz. Just take a breath, love. Getting bloody scolded by a Kiwi. Who would have thought? Kia ora wā. Oh man. I dated a Kiwi chick for like, a couple of years actually. Lived together and all that. Jeez, that was a long time. That was before I was even in the military. And God, they say some insane stuff. Like, what was it, like jandals and all that sort of stuff? Was that the one? Are they the ones that say jandals? It's not us. Oh, I can't even remember because we just have thongs. I think you guys call them flip-flops, you Americans. And then like we have doonas and they have duvets. Ugh, yuck, weird Kiwi words. All right. Anyway, okay, there was a whole bunch, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, we should probably check on that. We should probably eat a muesli bar.
Jetpack on.
Okay. And then we'll start cooking. Well, actually, you know what? We could probably cook the copper. There's no power requirement. Oh, apart from the... Yeah, no, I don't want to accidentally drain our grid while I'm in here. I've done that shit before. Nothing if not learning from my mistakes. How are we going in here? Clear potato. Potato has no sunlight. Okay, so they're not quite there yet. And that's fine. 19... They're not dying, you know, they are starting to flower. They must have just missed out because we were still putting this all together and planting because it will do it in a full day cycle. So it didn't get the full cycle, and that's fine. But you got to remember that we're going from a vacuum room into a room with pressure, and every time we open it, we're halving the pressure. All right, and we can't just pressurize this room and then go in because we need to. The temperature is actually more important than the pressure, right? So that's why we have a sort of cooling system set up like this. I know it's all very manual, but it's well thought out. Set outward, and then we give it a little squirt because 12 kPa is not quite enough, though. It's not the end of the world. Oh, look at that. It's held the same temperature. That's interesting. Let's give it another squirt. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, we'll see. That's probably a bad sign because these potatoes are going to start warming up. We might not be cooling quick enough, but we'll work it out. We'll work it out. Anyway, look, 23 kPa is going to do the job just fine. So we will close that. We will set inward and we will drain to vacuum. Goes back out to be cooled in that pipe. Out we go. So they're going to be going fine. The main reason we top up there, it wasn't apparent there, is they will overheat. It'll turn into like a 50-degree room and then they'll start dying. So we have to go in and check them at least every couple of days. But you can do it every day. Anyway. Geez, we got a bit of copper out of that hole, didn't we? So we're cooking this up so we can make cable. Now, yeah, my thought was... Right. What if we go... Logic reader. I guess we could put this at the end. Logic writer. Math, no. Logic math is probably what we need, right? What else we got? Compare, select, min, max. No, just math. And put the power on the outside. And then we'll... memory. That's more than enough. So let's go cable, cable coil, cook a shit tin of these. What do you reckon, 20? You really got to catch these if you're not doing a chute system, which obviously we're not, because then they start just piling up and become a physics nightmare, and then before you know it, you get killed by a piece of cable that rockets at you like a bullet. This has happened. Maybe not the cable specifically, but we've had shit like this happen before. Alright, 20 cables should get the ball rolling. Plus, you know, we've got whatever spare we've got in here as well. Yeah. So I was thinking of running the power around in like a circle, but that's sort of not really going to happen because of these spokes on the side with the thing. But it's still something that we can do here. We just got to realize that we want to do... We want to have a power controller that they feed into. And there's no real neat way to put that out of the way. I mean, unless I could do it over here, but it's going to get messy quickly. Anyway, let's start just putting it together. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that. Let's get the data cable network all done first, right? Oh, we're going to need a bloody... No, they don't have any outputs there, so that's fine. does. Alright. That should cover it, actually. That's all the data. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can't run the power over that, sadly. Yeah, so we could hypothetically... we run the power through... Because we could put the data out here. We don't want them crossing. Not really. So we run the power through, and we'll have that as the sort of first thing that feeds in. Yeah, that's fine. Have a pass through. We're going to have to rebuild this dish. Do I have to crowbar it? And maybe angle grind it? Wrench? Wait, hang on. How come I can't figure this out? Oh, it's probably a crowbar, right? Why aren't you telling me how to pull you down, sir? Drill. It's the fucking drill. You silly sausage. Alright, get that out of the way. Yeah, right. So that's what I actually want to do, is that. Alright. That should work. Because we also need to feed the sensor into this as well. To get the daylight angle. Oh, did I just do it back to front? I did. I just did it back to front. Oh, and I already put the... Did I put the glass on the top? I did. Oh my god. How frustrating. Sorry. Yeah.
Power low.
There we go. Jesus. Cable's in my hand. Of course it is. Alright. We do need to keep charging the grid. Wherever the bloody sun is. Oops. Alright. Now, I know I like the idea of the redundant power source, but the thing is, until we have a battery big enough, it doesn't matter. Oh, we could just run it off the main grid. Who gives a shit? It'll be fine. Run that off the main grid. Onto there. That's fine. It's less messing around. Yeah, just as long as we don't accidentally short. Yeah. Because if you have the data and the power and you do something like this, you'll loop it back in on itself by accident. And then as far as linking those up...
Hunger. Caution.
Oh, that needs to be cabled in as well, doesn't it? That's fine.
Jetpack on.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm overdoing it. And yeah, I'll run this cable, I'll run this power. Because yeah, there's no getting away that they need input and output. I'll just run an ugly cable out here, basically. That's fine. Oh, yeah. I guess you just gotta not fall into the trap of trying to over-complicate the system. If simple works, then that's probably the go-ahead. I'm just cognizant because I have managed to short the system before in my little endeavors. And so I guess I'm just a little bit aware of it. And from that, it makes me overthink the problem a little bit. Yeah, data's feeding in just fine. Power. We'll run like this. Alright. I mean, it's a system. It's neat-ish, you know. Oh my god, and we have to cook some more cable. But yeah, so essentially we want to hook this into there. We also need to remember to hook that bit of cable into there, and then we'll set it all up. We're going to have to put a sensor somewhere. We could probably just put it on the corner there, or down on the corner here, or something like that. In fact, I could potentially duck this cable in closer, and then maybe sit it on that corner. Maybe. I guess we'll have a... Yeah, we'll have a play with it. That'll probably do the job. Alright team, we're getting there. We're moving along. Thanks again for joining me. We might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.